What's going on, everybody? It's your boy Chip, back at you from RVA Vapes. And today we've got a pod system from our friends at Joyetech called the Runabout. And this guy is surfing its way into stores near you. So today we got a cool one from our friends at Joyetech, and this is the Runabout, their newest pod system. So there's the surfboard-like device, and you also get charge cable, spare pod, and instruction manual / warranty card in this nice little tube-style packaging. Very cool. So not a lot to go over as far as the nitty-gritty with this guy, but it does have this really cool surfboard design. It's nice and ergonomic, feels very sturdy. It's got the full metal construction. The pod seems to go in and out nicely. You've got your little airflow slots on either side right there, and fire button. It's got a nice weight to it. You know, this one's got some cool sticker, inlay, whatever you want to call that. But it fits nicely in the hand. It may be a little large for some people. It's definitely a bigger pod type system, but I imagine that's for the battery size more than anything, and it does have a 14 watt maximum output wattage, so a little bigger, beefier style pod mod for sure. You know, micro USB charging right there, and full metal construction, so it's got some good quality appeal to it there. So now that you got a good up close look at this guy, we're gonna pull back and talk about it a little bit. First and foremost, we're gonna give you the parameters of this guy. From tip to tail, you're looking at 117 millimeters. It's going to be 30.5 millimeters wide like this, and then 15.5 millimeters thick. So it's not a tiny little guy, but it does fit in the hand nicely. It comes in 6 interesting surfing inspired colors, we'll call it. It's a 480 mAh battery, so right there in the middle, and it has a 2 milliliter juice capacity. The pods on this guy are fairly nice. They've went with the non-changeable coil design, and it's got your little fill port right here on the side, so you just peel that guy back and fill it up right there. You will see it does have a fire button on this bad boy, so it's not an auto draw, which I'm personally a fan of. And the pod does fit either way, so it's reversible if you want to call it that. This guy's really interesting because the way they've got it designed is that you see these little holes on the side right there. Depending on which way you put the pod in, one side's got your fill hole, the other side's where your airflow is coming in. So it's got actually pretty good airflow built into it. They call it mouth to lung. I believe the coil on this guy, so the coil on this guy is a 1.2 ohm, so it will work with nicotine salts, but it's also a little higher output than some of the other ones that are out there. A lot of them are staying around 1.5, 1.4 in that range, but the thing that's really cool about this 1.2 ohm coil is the flavor. The flavor on it is actually pretty dang good. The life overall of the pods is probably one of the better ones that I've seen. We've found over the last couple of months dealing with a lot of these different pod systems that when you first fill it up, if you fill it up more than what you see right there, like if you don't leave that bubble in there, your chances of getting spit back or forcing juice through the coil and up into the mouthpiece is relatively high. So what we're starting to recommend is that people don't fill it up quite so much and leave that little air bubble like you've got right there, so that you are not forcing the juice into the coil, because they're smaller coils and they're kind of restricted as far as the amount of juice that it can absorb at any given time. So they've got this cool light situation built into the bottom there that you can kind of see, and if you triple click it, you can actually change the light color, which is interesting because it's kind of a throwback to the old AIO type of setup, where you've got that indicator light that does multiple different colors, and you can kind of set it however you want, whatever color works best for you. It's just a triple click, and then you just cycle through it. You can see, obviously, I've changed mine to that light cyan blue color, which is super cool. And it has a 15-second cutoff. They've bumped it up from the 8 or the 10-second cutoff that has been standard for a while because of the mouth-to-lung type of hit. They want you to have a little extra time if you want that to be able to get a full hit out of it. So that's all the parameters and specifications on the Runabout from Joyetech. Now we're going to talk about the performance a little bit. You can see this guy's no slouch on performance. It's definitely got one of the airier type of hits that I've found on any of these pod systems. It's a metal construction, so it feels nice. It's sturdy in the hand. I like the edges being, except for that pointy one, but it's still nice and rounded off at the bottom. But it fits in the hand nicely. I like the way it feels. It's very ergonomic, as they say. The placement of the fire button doesn't really bother me because you can finger it or you can thumb mash it with relative ease because of the curvature they put in here. The surfboard style, I'm not sure how I feel about, to be completely honest with you. It's definitely different, so I'll give them a, E for effort for thinking outside the box, but I don't know that it's particularly my style, and I do like the beach, so that's one way to look at it. But it's different, it's unique, it's ergonomic, so we're not going to take any points away from them for that. It's just not necessarily my thing. You can see they put the micro USB flush mounted right there, so it's not on one of the sides, which is where I would probably expected it to be, but it's right there flush mounted, so it's easy to get to. And I don't know if you'd be able to use it very easily when it is charging. Maybe if you held it this way, that way the charge port's kind of open. But if you're holding it and thumb mashing it, I don't think you're going to be able to charge it, at least not with my big hands. My finger kind of covers up the charger. Maybe if you hold it like this kind of situation. I don't know. The construction and the performance of this little Runabout guy are awesome. So if you're looking for a little higher output, maybe a beach inspired or something that's a little more ergonomic, they can fit in a suit pocket or your fifth pocket in your jeans. A little sturdier than some of the companies that are making these all plastic body or all resin body pod systems. It's worth checking out. The Runabout's definitely got some nice performance, some interesting style, and great flavor on this guy. So all in all, we're going to give the Runabout 1.5 thumbs up. Like I said, the style of it, I'm not sure how I feel about. The micro USB placement, I don't think is a problem, but I could see it being a problem for some people. But the biggest knock I have against this guy is it's only 480 milliamps. And for being as large as it is compared to some of the other pod systems that are out there, I feel like they could have put a bigger battery in this guy. Maybe a 900 or a 950 would have made me feel a little bit better about it. But performance is there. The 480 does last long, but because you got a 1.2 coil instead of a 1.5 coil, and you've got the 480 milliamp hour battery, it's not going to give you quite as much battery life as some of the other ones that are out there. The flavor on this thing is great. The airflow on it is probably one of the best I've seen. It's a really nice, airy kind of pod system. I haven't had any leaking issues, but it is a fire button, which I prefer, so that's another reason we got a little extra credit for that guy. So overall, I gotta say, really like the Runabout. And if you're looking for a new pod system that maximizes flavor, has a little bit better vape production, but you don't want to break the bank, I would definitely recommend checking out the Joyetech Runabout. As always, thank you guys for watching. We appreciate every single one of you. Make sure you click that subscribe button so you can see all of our latest and greatest videos that are coming out. We put out new reviews every Saturday, so make sure you stay tuned for that. As always, thank you, thank you, thank you. If you want to smoke, that's your business. If you don't,